Park. This is Lee Cusack. I'm going to be presenting for him today. Lee is interested in experimental media and programming as a designer. We're going to open up today's talk with a concept that he's been conceiving of and exploring in his research as a designer. The term is interdimensional relativity. And he's interested in the questions of how 2D graphics, 3D structures, and 4D lapses inform each other, and how these relationships can inform the viewer. He's interested in different aesthetic and semiotic translations between the 2D, 3D, and 4D realms. And he's been taking what he's learning from his research and incorporating it into his practice. So we'll look at a couple examples first. Here you can see 2D graphics placed within a 3D structure, forming an optical illusion. Playing on the concept of space, taking type and pushing it into a dimension. Here you can see the logo type for the London Underground. See the shape of the subway tunnel with the train running through it, kind of being taken a step further as a graphic image, then as a graphic gestural mark, and then finally becoming the Underground's logo. And going into the future, Siemens has been commissioned to make new trains, and they've designed the train based on the color and shape of the logo you can see in the front of the train here. So it's sort of 3D to 2D, going back into 3D. Here's a video of an animated type face using different algorithmic codes to generate this swarming pattern. And in his own practice, he's been experimenting with taking animated GIFs, uploading them to a website, and then printing t-shirts from the website to create t-shirts like what you see here. So he's trying to wear an animated GIF. So he's trying to take this 4D realm and translate it into a 3D object that you can wear. The card you have in your hand is the Let's Chat card. It's a plastic calling card with personalized instructions and a letter chart for communicating with Lee. He's arranged the letters according to the frequency of usage in English language, and he has tailored them over time to his linguistic habits. And he also has it tattooed on his arm. I'll show you later. He thinks of design as bodily function. So here you see the example of it. It has very simple instructions on how to utilize the card. On the back of the card is a chart with his calling information. And then taking it a step further, he's going to be developing it into an app. He wants to render the Let's Chat card into a dynamic, customizable mobile app for other people with similar communication needs like him. You'll see a user flow chart that depicts how the app will be navigated, and a mock-up that displays how the user can access various permissions and customize their own chart. And he has an internship at Fathom this summer. Fathom has been very interested in developing that with him, so we're going to get him in touch with some really hardcore programmers who can help take him to the next level.
What is that?
Fathom Information Design is located in downtown Boston. They're a data visualization firm.
Ben Fry.
Yeah, Ben Fry. Ben Fry was one of the co-creators of processing, which is it's a very open-ended program that can allow people to generate graphic form using data, information, mathematics. So here you can see the user flow chart of the app. He's tried to put together how the app will function. And he actually created this chart using processing instead of Illustrator. He's been trying to come up with experimental ways to increase his productivity. It's very hard for him to manually manipulate vector art programs, so he's using mathematics to create these grids of colored squares, and then he fills them with text in the squares. And Ben Fry actually really enjoyed that. He never thought of using the program for that. Here you can see various mocked-up screens of the iPhone app. Simple login window. He could program his instructions like what you see on the back side of the card. And then the letters here have been arranged in different windows you can swipe through. And then there's a simple window to allow the user who's communicating with Lee to type down what he's saying. And over time, say for instance, my phone is being used with Lee. My phone will store information about our conversations that will help to create auto-suggest and paraphrasing tool. So each phone will be sort of uniquely, will learn conversations. So here's a detailed shot. Lee is a self-professed master of understatement. He really is a fan of minimal, to the point design, very functional design. The iWriter is the device you see here. Lee has also been interested in trying to create eye tracking hardware to allow him to use computers better. The Not Possible Foundation has developed this product called the iWriter, which is an over-the-counter solution. They give you instructions on how to build it and also open source software to program it. So Lee downloaded the instructions and we tried to build it. You can see there are schematics, very rudimentary. It sits on his face like this. And it's just a PlayStation 3 webcam that has an infrared filter put on, a macro lens fitted, and then infrared LEDs resoldered into place with LEDs the ones before. And it creates a high resolution, high contrast image of the pupil, and then tracks the pupil, and then can allow the user to move the cursor on the computer screen. And paired with different software that gives the user options on how to click with the cursor, he can manipulate the cursor in various ways. So, just a simple product shot. And we also, we took their design, and Lee was really interested in streamlining it. They really ripped out and made it very techy and crude. And we really tried to streamline the design by adding the shrink tubing to this and trying to clean it all up. Lee's been using Arduino technology to develop an over-the-counter automatic door opening device that can be retrofitted to any door. When he's at home, he cannot exit his house in case of an emergency. So he wants to create something that's similar to the iWriter. They give the user instructions, maybe a basic kit, and the user can, for very little money, develop their own automatic door opener. So he's worked with a group to develop schematics, trying to figure out how to trigger the door, how to unlatch the door, and how to open the door.
Was that schematic also drawn with processing?
This was drawn with Illustrator, which is part of a group project, and then he has taken it further on his own outside of the group. And this is his first time drawing a schematic here to direct a fabrication process. So Lee commissioned his father, who owns a wood shop, to build this door here that you see for the prototyping of this product. Yeah, it's a very interesting opportunity for him to drive a material fabrication process. This is the Arduino. He's in the process of learning how to program a stepper motor. The stepper motor will be fitted onto the prototype of the door, and he will program the motor to adjust the speed and the timing of the arm that will open the door and close the door. So here you can see.
What does the Arduino respond to?
The Arduino is programmed using a computer, and once the code is loaded onto the Arduino board, it just requires a power source to be operated.
Then is it responding to, say, a physical cue, or like approaching the door?
Yeah, it could be triggered by either a pressure sensor that Lee rolls over, or an infrared beam that he trips, or
So the trigger could be modified.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
or
sensor.
a motion sensor.
Right.
We also worked with another student to learn how to do video mapping of 3D objects and environments. Lee was responsible for the audio engineering, which is his first time doing audio, and learning how to map on the 3D space.
Where did the audio come from?
He went out into the city and took samples, brought the samples back into his studio and mixed them in a GarageBand.
Nice. That's what that.
He had his assistants, myself and another person, go out and do it for him. So, and this is his last piece. He created recently as part of a design blitz in his studio. All members are creating posters for their senior show that has to communicate something about their future outside of school. This is a lot to read, but I can read it for you. Gaining an income would jeopardize the benefits I rely on to live a productive life. The benefits I risk losing include a comprehensive health care plan, access to free therapeutic services, round-the-clock personal care coverage, and insured wheelchair parts with maintenance. Losing even a portion of these services would put an economic strain on my family that would spell disaster for their hopes and dreams. The United States government wants me to contribute to society, but it won't give me the leeway to do so. My dependence on the system has branded me as part of the alleged 47%. Social justice seekers push me to reach for the stars. I'm getting mixed signals as my worth as an American citizen is devalued and my faith in the American dollar has all but faded away. And this is the poster he has created. Again, a very understated but effective, sort of universal concept, which I'm sure any American can relate to. This is actually a photograph that we took in London on a study abroad course, and we liked it so much, she ended up correcting it in Photoshop and manipulating it, and he's been erasing it slowly by hand. So that's it.
So that poster was printed out and then slowly erased?
He's doing it all digitally.
Okay, erased digitally. Okay. Can we go back to the London, way back to the London Underground stuff?
Sure.
I wasn't sure, what of that have you worked on?
Well, this is part of his research.
Oh, okay, so
These
this
are-
is all these are research images.
These are
okay,
findings.
I see.
And then he's taken his research further to create t-shirts of this.
I see.
Because you went on the London, because of the
Yeah.
London trade as well.
The fourth dimension. What kind of feedback would you like?
Alright. Yeah. How? Do it. Did. How to? Improve. My. card. Yeah. And the way. Present it. How to improve the app and how to present it. Granted, it's a very interactive piece and it is not yet developed for this.
Can you run me through a little bit of the process? For me, it's I will speak a word to you, and you will say it back to me. So if you say a word to me, and then do I try and use the letter forms?
Well, according to step one, he speaks a word to you, and you try to guess the word back to confirm it. Okay, and if so he's spoken a word.
I want to say it's O, but not the letter O, but O-H. But
Try to guess one more time.
It's the letter of L.
So then, step two, you would ask him to spell it, and then he would say a letter, and then you would try to guess to confirm.
okay. And I'm asking this because I'm trying to understand the application as well.
So say the letter.
A.
It's on the L. N.
Did you? One more guess? Okay, so now, since you couldn't guess the word or the first letter, follow the instructions to use the chart. You start by asking if the letter is a vowel or a consonant.
Is it a vowel? So it's a consonant.
So then you read each group off as a section. So WTDC, PB.
So WTDC, PB, FGH.
So it's in that group.
Yeah.
So pick that letter.
So
F.
F, G, H.
So your first letter is H.
So the second letter.
Second letter.
Is it a vowel or consonant?
So is it a vowel? Yes, it's a vowel. A, E, E.
So A-G.
Yeah. So next letter, consonant. Yes. WTDC, PB, FJH, LMN. So I'll guess L. So the next one L, and the last one is O. Although back. Thank you.
So it's a process of deduction that he's created.
So here's feedback, because my take is it needs something to be one step user friendly. I feel like you have an opportunity on your app to do something different than this. And on your app, if it's possible to see that, I will speak. You can actually walk them through the same process that we just did without him. So that the first screen can say, ask me if it's a consonant or a vowel, and then you can answer. And then the next screen would be, is it this group, this group, this group, yes or no, and then go from there. So my sense is that you can actually walk it through step by step, screen by screen, as opposed to here are 3 steps, and then figure out the screens. So that's my feedback.
That's interesting. I hadn't considered that, but I think it's true. It could be more interactive, more robust, like in the way. And then some advice that we gave to a previous student. She had this book about BDSM and kink. It was like an intro book, and she kind of glossed over the reason for having worked on it. So I think maybe in your presentation, sort of front loading this project, and be simple as the importance of communication, or the beauty of dialogue, or you know what I mean, something like that. It's kind of warm us up, I guess.
And I wonder if it couldn't look like a dialogue where, this is my part and this is your part, and you could have some fun with creating an image for the roles.
Another opportunity is there a way to use your voice and have it translate so that it comes out phonetically differently?
Or perhaps you could learn the voice, learn to identify sounds,
I think if you just break through a little bit your typographic minimalism, and at this point, because what I think is happening, what everybody is saying, is a little more kind of. So imagine if you were like some combination of saying somebody says, or does a guess, or there's a way of saying you're doing a guess, and then the word shakes and goes no, or the thing on the screen shakes and goes yes, or something like that. Or alternatively, you're trying to tell people how to do steps to things, and you have little arrows and numbers. So it's just one. It's not that you don't do it clean and minimal, but it's just one more layer of information. In other words, once we understand this game, this is enough. It's not a game, pardon me, but once we understand this way of operating, this kind of process of elimination,
Yeah.
it's then it's clear. You can all do this without the card anymore.
Yeah.
Like what's the first, and it matches other concepts that we have. But just to understand that that's the process we're supposed to be going through, we're, as you said originally, we're one step removed from that. We can get it if we read these instructions close enough. But once you get to that form, you have many more tools to step us through it. And say, can't understand me? Do this, do this, do this, one at a time, or something like that. And then, just as I say, a few other visual cues. It's very good.
Overall, your work is really smart.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of how it's presented, but the thought process is brilliant.
Yeah.
Really smart.
I would use the word intimidating. The breadth of it is staggering. The piece at the end with the poster and the erasure is like galling. To marry that level of simplicity with such an important message is that's the whole name of the game.
Yep.
Right. That sums it up.
And it's a nice, I love your first slide, which was the hello, because it's an interactive hello.
Yeah.
You have to participate with it. So, and you participate with it in different ways. So I think it's a nice full circle.
The emotional content of the last piece is what I'm looking for here. Like that's tuning in, like that message, that emotional need. We responded to that so far today, for sure, with other students. I think seeing something broken and saying, I have the power to fix it is huge.
One more closing thought or two?
I think your ability to go from 2D to 4D and 4D back to 2D is really so unexpected, and it's very fresh. It's really good to see.
And I would say don't waste your time with a job. Don't look for a job. Just keep doing this stuff. don't let it just slow you down. Just keep doing this stuff. Like even if it's a matter of remaining in academia, I think that it looks like it's a really suitable environment to play with these ideas.
Lee, do you have a website?
He currently has his research blog for this concept. It's called interdimensionalrelativity.tumblr.com, where he's been uploading all of his findings and commenting on them.
You'll be seeing me on there.
Yeah, we've been telling Lee to go to MIT Media Lab.
Yes, Media Lab.
Yeah.
Tumblr.
He's already got what other degrees? DU, computer science.
He's been in college for almost 9 years now. He has a computer science degree from Boston University, and he transferred from BU to AIB to do more creative computer work. So,
Yeah, that shows, really does. It brings such depth to what you're doing.
Did you
But
grow up-
there's a real need for this.
Yeah, there is.
Did you grow up in Boston?
Absolutely.
he's from Lexington.
Nice to meet you.
I think that last poster could also do very well interactively, and I mean, I think there's this thing between your typography and the interactive. It's the same problem, with the same issue with the card, not problem, but the same issue with the card is like you have the opportunity to do some other step that will, you know, like have the thing disappear right in front of you, as a, you know, go from strong to weak or something like that. That just would give it that extra bit of meaning that you've discovered in the type itself. So it's really impressive.
Maybe we could talk about your work all day.
Yeah, we just sleepover, we'll blitz. Great. May I have a copy of that? There's a thumb drive with there's a little folder with Lee's name on it. That would be great. And a little booklet design. Okay.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you. I look forward to seeing more.
Where was it, Christina?
Oh, so see on that, we had, is there,
Congratulations.